Assalamu alaikum, dear students and the viewers. I welcome to my class, especially English class based on tense. I congratulate you to observe my class arranged by Pekwa Upojila Secondary Online School. Today I will take the class tense. Tense is a very important topic of English grammar. No one can learn this language without knowing tenses. That's why, as a student, you must know ins and outs of a tense. If you are expert in tense, if you know outs and ins of tense, you have no problems in English grammar. That's why you should be very attentive, very careful to learn these tenses. We, as a global citizen, if we want to get comfortable jobs, comfortable life in future, we have to very expert in English. That's why from the beginning of your classes, especially class student of 6 and 7, you must be attentive to learn, must be serious to learn this English grammar, this topic. Especially I will learn these classes to learn these important topics. I always tell my student it is the very important topic for all of the students. So let's start our topic today. Tense. Tense is English word, we all know. It comes from the Latin word tempus. Tempus means time. So we can tell tense, the time of accomplishing any action of verb is called tense. So if we understand this definition, we will be clear about tense. The time of accomplishing any action of verb, we call it tense. Now, how many tenses are there? Generally, you mean mainly 3 tenses are there. There are 3 tenses. There are 3 kinds of tense. They are: number 1, present tense. Number 2, first tense. And number 3, future tense. So what we know here, first one is definition and the second one is the division of tense. There are 3 kinds of tenses: present tense, past tense and future tense. The spelling should be more accurate if we want to learn the English perfectly. That's why we tell present tense, past tense and future tense. Okay? Then we try to learn what is present tense. What is present tense? Dear students, number 1, I try to teach you with a question. What is present tense? How many kinds of present tense are there? What are they? What are they? Three questions here. Number one is, what is present tense? How many kinds of present tense are there? What are they? If you understand this question, we try to solve this answer also. First one, I try to give you answer also. Answer. The tense which indicates or describes the tense which indicates or describes the action of present time. Present time is called present tense. The answer of question number one. What is present tense? The tense which indicates or describes the action of present time is called present tense. So, dear students, listen to me again. The tense which indicates or describes the action of present time is called present tense. Second question, how many kinds of present tense are there? There are 4 kinds of present tense. There are 4 kinds of present tense. The answer of question number 2. There are 4 kinds of present tense. And the third question, what are they? If there are 4 kinds of present tense, what are they? Now I write the answer. They are, dear students, I erase the upper portion of the whiteboard. Number 1, present indefinite. Indefinite, or another name is simple present. Simple present. 2 names here. Many books only write present indefinite. Some books also mention simple present also. But 2 things same. Simple present and present indefinite, the same thing. And number 2, present continuous. Present continuous or continuous. Present continuous. Third one, present perfect. Perfect. And the fourth one. Present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. Dear students, now we got the 3 questions answered. The first one, what is present tense? How many kinds of present tense are there? What are they? Now I give all 3 questions answered. Try to learn present indefinite or simple present. It's also the almost same definition of present tense, though I write it again for your better learning. I mentioned present there. The present tense which describes the action of present time, the action of present time habitual action and universal truth. Universal truth. It's called present indefinite or simple present. Simple present. So dear students, I pronounce this definition again. The present tense which describes the action of present time, habitual action and universal truth. It's called present indefinite or simple present. So dear students, I try to give you all information about every tense. I need the book to give you structure. Before giving a structure, I try to clarify something. We generally know one tense, one structure. But today, I try to teach you all forms of one tense. We generally know one structure, which is called main structure. Actually, one tense, 5 structure, minimum 4 structure, but most of the students have 5 structures. I try to teach you 5 structures totally. Present indefinite or simple present indefinite. First one you can tell active or affirmative structure, which is we learn. Other structure we generally learn in various types of parts, single sentence, voice, but I try to give at a time. If you learn at a time 5 structures, it will benefit you in other parts also. That's why I try to give you all the structures at a time. Most of the students feel bored, try to learn this 5 structure of a tense, but it's very beneficial to you. That's why you have to learn, you have to try, you have to understand, be very attentive and try to understand this structure. Active structure we generally do subject plus verb as or is we end when the subjective third person singular number, then object, then extension. These 2 parts called subject, verb, object, the main parts of the sentence. Others, extension, just bring or write in the sentence to fulfill the feelings of the speakers. The most important part is 3: subject, verb and object. So next, which one? Negative form. Negative form. what is the negative form of present indefinite? Just let's see. Subject plus don't or do not or does not, then verb base form plus object plus extension. So when you make negative form of present indefinite, you just follow this structure. If you bring do not or does not before verb, you make it negative form, affirmative to negative, which we mostly known by when we learn sentence. Again, I try to clear it. Subject plus verb. Sometimes we need to s or es with verb when the subject is third person singular number. Then object plus extension. And that negative structure of present indefinite is subject do not. When we use do not, subject plural, verb must plural, then we use do not. If you find any s or es with affirmative form, you must use does not to make it negative form. And then verb be, that means base form of verb, then object, then extension. Okay, you have to notice these two words. When you use do not, when does not. I'll give you an example to clarify you. Let's see interrogative form. Interrogative form. Don't, doesn't, plus subject, plus let's see, only interview, not negative interview, only interview. Do, does, subject, verb base form, plus object, plus extension, and the sign of interrogation. Dear students, let's see difference among these three structures. The active form, or another name affirmative form. This is negative form. This is interrogative form. The same tense, simple past or present indefinite. When you use do or does, when anyone can tell? Of course. When verb is base form, we make do or does. When verb third person singular number or verb with s or es. Do or does, subject plus verb base form plus object plus extension. This is called the interrogative structure of present indefinite tense. And then negative interrogative. Here also a little bit difference, interrogative and negative interrogative. We use don't or doesn't plus subject, same verb base form, object plus extension, and the sign of interrogation or question mark. Dear students, if you examine this four structure of present indefinite tense, you will find a little bit difference among these structures. If you know how to make interrogative form to affirmative form, you also know negative interrogative form of this structure, of this tense. That's why you have to be very attentive to find out the ins and outs differences from each structure. And then I give you the most important structure for you. passive form, which is very difficult for the students of class 6 and 7. I give you to learn. If you find very difficult to this structure, you can avoid it. But I tell you, try to learn. From this young age, you can learn many things very careful, okay, very attentively. That's why you have to be very, very careful when you learn tenses. I told you before, it is the soul of English language. That's why be very smart by learning this language. Passive form. Passive form, you have to learn three things first. I told you subject, verb, object. These three things are the important parts, main parts of a sentence. To make active to passive, you have to identify three things also. Which one subject, which one verb, and which one object. That's why if you are able to identify these three words, you will be easily change passive form of these tenses. Now I write this structure also, physical structure of present indefinite tense. Object changed into subject. You have to find object and you must change it as a object. Object changed into subject. And you have to use auxiliary verb. For especially present indefinite, you have to use am, is, are. Am, is, are. And then you have to change the verb first participle form. Verb 3. We use verb 1, 2, 3 only for shortest writing. It is not verb 1, verb 2, verb 3. For writing facility, we use shortly. Verb 1, present indefinite, verb 2, first form, and verb 3, verb first participle form. And then you have to use by, and then the subject will change into object, and then extension. Most often I tell you, especially for instance, it is extra tension. That means there is no action. Extension, which is called extension, it is used in the sentence. Actually, it is no action in the sentence. That's why it is extra tension. You have to find out this parts also. If you are unable to choose extension, you can make mistakes in changing sentences. That's why, dear students, I clarify again also. Active or affirmative structure of present indefinite, negative structure, interrogative structure, negative interrogative structure, passive structure. Only one tenses we learn today. Present indefinite. We discussed 5 structure. The first and the last should be very different, but you have to be very careful about this structure. When you use and when you should have also a huge amount of this auxiliary verb. And only used for I is third person singular number, and are first person plural, second person, and third person plural. We have to know also what is third person, what is first person, second person. Especially we have a lot of knowledge of each and every grammatical topics, especially partial speech also. Now I try to give a structure-based example. Dear students, I try to give you a simple structure just every student can understand easily. I eat rice. I wrote extension here. Just you do not follow any hesitation. If I want to make it negative form, what is used to here? I do not eat rice. If you match the negative structure, just you find this answer also. I bring do not because verb is base form. So it is called the negative structure of affirmative form. And then if I make it interrogative form, what is we need to use? At first is do. Do you or I eat rice? To is correct here. I use do because verb is base form. I based the active form always. Basing I eat rice. We try to change other four structure also. Just transform one form to another form. And then if you make it I eat rice, if you need to change it negative interrogative form, you have to use don't. Why? Yes, because the verb is base form. If you find S or yes, you need to use doesn't. Don't you or I eat rice? So is correct. If we use you, is also correct. I is also correct. And then the most difficult one for you, I have told you to identify three things: subject, verb, object. I give you only three parts also. I is subject, verb, object. The first row, object changed into subject. Object changed into subject. Okay, at a time I write down sir. Object rice. I send the subject. Rice is third person singular number. That's why I use is. Rice is. And then verb changed into first participle form. Eaten. Rice is eaten. You need to bring by after verb 3. I use this one by. Rice is eaten by. And then the fifth row, subject changed into object. The objective form of I is me. That's why rice is eaten by me. Dear students, if you are unable to understand this structure, just try to learn this basic structure which I given before this example. Then you will be very easily understand this tense, present, indefinite tense. That's all today.